Y'all, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting on the Twitter today. Okay, we got Candace Dilla Bassett with a message for Jemele Hill. She says, message you on IG since you're too chicken-ish to have your Twitter DMs on at Jemele Hill. Find out where this all stemmed from in just 1 second. What's going on, Skye Squad? We are back in the building for a nice little live today. And let me tell you why I'm going live. Because, you know, I try to save my live for my recaps, right? But the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 6 mid-season trailer came out yesterday while I was headed out to go get a facial from my girl Faces by Melody. So I was like, okay, I can't really do this. And then I had a podcast interview when I got back. So I was like tired, okay? I was tired. But I said, you know what? We got to do this recap and we got to do it live because that was my original intent. So here we are today. And what do you know? The news done broke off while I was up in the gym trying to get a little pump on, trying to get my little sexy on while I can. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do the doggone thing. Next thing I know, I see Candace going after Jemele Hill. And I'm like, what done happened here? Before we get into that, though, before we dive into that, we're going to do a little mini recap. It's just I got a voice of frustration from something that I saw last night. We're going to get into that. But before we do so, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell button. And listen, let me know in the chatterization where you're watching from, because I see we got Chicago already up in the building and representing. We got the, who else is up in here? Twitter fingers just don't stop. High Desert of California. Hey, Deborah, I see you. Who else we got? What about Juan? Hey, Hicks World. We got Jersey in the building, Zimbabwe, Dominica in here. Okay. Detroit, I see you. Louisville, Stanford, Detroit, Houston, London, Portugal, Trinidad, Brooklyn, South Africa. Okay. Come on now, Memphis, Tennessee, Waldorf, Maryland, West Virginia. I see y'all, Bay Area. I see you in the house. I see you. District Heights, Maryland. Hey, Philly. How y'all doing? Listen, thank you for joining. Let's get into it. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know. Chime in the chatterization if you happen to catch last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, you know I don't typically always do the recaps on this channel for this show, but I might have to start because my frustration is running high. My level of frustration is running high. Now, I'm just going to give you 2 quick scenarios, and then we're going to get on up out your way with this, but I got to talk about this because it frustrated me to no end. Chime in the chatterization if you saw it last night. If you saw it last night, because if you did, you will know that your girl Dorit, she came after Garcelle last night because Garcelle had got her together and tried to, you know, basically say, listen, in the episode before, listen, you, Dorit, wasn't talking all nice about Erica behind her back. You was feeling the same way Sutton was about getting lawyers, you know, observations and getting some guidance about what to do about this situation with Erica. But then to Erica's face, you acting all, you know, nice and whatnot and acting like it won't you. So now Dorit got a problem with Garcelle because she think that Garcelle is being passive aggressive when honestly, to me, in my mind, Garcelle is being very direct with everything that she is saying to Dorit. You talk too much and that ain't what you said the night before. Okay, that's what she did. Okay, that's exactly what she did. She called her out, but Dorit don't like it. Now, apparently what you got to do is for Dorit to feel that you're not being passive aggressive. You got to sit her down and say, shut up, because you're talking too much now. You ain't saying the right things. You've been going on for about an hour and we all sitting here sick and bored and tired of you talking because you are belaboring a point, just like she did last night. And then my thought is Garcelle says she feels like she never is going to fit in with this group. Let me come on camera real quick. Garcelle, you're not going to never fit in with that group. And let me tell you why. And it ain't for the obvious reason. It's mostly because you are unwilling to sit there and go with the status quo. You are going to ask questions about things that don't make sense. You are going to ask questions about things that will make those other girls feel uncomfortable that they are not willing to bring up on camera because they want to keep it cute and have a certain look for the reality TV and not really get real. You know what I'm saying? So to me, Garcelle, you will never fit in with this group because you are keeping it too real, okay? And these these Beverly Hills girls do not want to keep it all the way real, okay? That's what you got to learn. And Sutton going to have to learn the hard way too. And what you and Sutton is going to have to do is y'all going to have to learn how to stick together like those girls. Because at the end of the day, y'all asking the questions that the audience want to know. And those girls are not going to appreciate that because they don't really want to let the audience into their real life situations and what's really going on. Hence the word reality TV. They want a staged reality TV. But that ain't what y'all there for. Y'all there to ask the questions. Y'all here to keep it real, okay? Sutton got the money. Sutton got the fame. Sutton got the notoriety. So yes, she's going to consult her lawyer when some chick she barely knows got a whole scandal of a marriage and divorce situation happening. I would too, as any wise person would do. So in my mind, I feel like Sutton and Garcelle, I got a message for y'all. Hear me good. Y'all better stick together just like them other girls do, or else they're going to get y'all every single time, okay? That's what they're going to do. They're going to get you every single time if y'all don't come up with some way to have each other's backs in those situations. So when that means for you, Garcelle, when you see Erica turn around and start screeching and sneering at Sutton the way she do, you're going to have to stop and put your hand up and say, not today, girl. You won't do that to my friend today. Because that's what the rest of those ladies are going to do. And what they're going to do is they're going to have each other's backs behind the scenes. They're going to call each other on the phone and tell them this is who we're going after today. And that's what y'all need to do too. Okay? That's all I got to say. Honestly, it frustrated me, so I had to let it out. And I appreciate you guys for giving me the time, space, and energy to do so. Okay, now let's get on with the get down. Shout out to the Jasmine brand for happening to catching this information, okay? Because you know, it's going down on the Twitter, apparently. I ain't really on Twitter like that, but holler in the chatterization if you are, because, you know, I don't really keep in touch with the Twitter and things that go on there because it just feels like it's just too much going on for me. It's too many words, and I'm a photograph visual type of guy. I don't really think in 140 characters or less. As you can see, that's why these videos sometimes go on and on and on, because I be talking and I like to talk. So for me, Twitter ain't the thing, okay? Train with Jazz, hey boo, says, tell it Richie Garcelle is real and not a phony. The other women are frauds, okay? And I don't need no frauds, okay? Tell him, Nikki. Thank you for that super chat. Now let's get into the thing, okay? So if you know who Jemele Hill is, okay, you were a step ahead of me because I didn't really know that much about her, to be quite honest with you. So I had to Wikipedia her. And come to find out, I was already following her on the Instagram. So there's that. So I must have known a little something about who she was. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, she is what the Wikipedia says, she's an American sports journalist who writes for The Atlantic. You go to her Instagram and she's a writer for The Atlantic, host of the Spotify podcast, Jay Hill Unbothered, co-founder of Lodge Freeway Media. Okay. So she was online. And let me tell you where it started. Let's go all the way back because Jasmine Brand, they caught it all, okay? So she's, you know, doing a little recapitation of the Real Housewives of Potomac, but she behind. She a little bit behind. But I don't mind it because sometimes you just got to catch up and get it the best way you can. So she says this, my guilty summer watch is Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm finally at the season 5 reunion where Monique brought the binder. Here is what I'm not understanding about their fight. When you dare someone to drag you and they do exactly what you asked, how is this an attack? So another Twitter user said, now come on, words and fists are two different things. Now, as you guys may recall from last year, we had this argument and Lord, everybody was split down the middle. Some people believe that even if you ask to be dragged, you shouldn't be dragged, okay? Some people believe that if you ask to be dragged, you should be dragged. All right. So we have two sides of the fence. I don't fault you one way or another. Listen, I can only tell you my experience and how I grew up. And how I grew up may be different from how you grew up and what you experienced. And that will inform how you typically view the world as we see it now. And we're going to get into that in a second, in a bit more. Okay. So Jemele responds and says, yes and no. If my words are about the fact that I'm ready to fight, then that's different. Candace made it seem like she was ready for the get down and clearly wasn't. Now, honestly, that's how I saw it at the time myself. And there's no disrespect to Candace. I just think that people have two totally different concepts of what reality TV is. I think that for some people, reality TV is, I'm gonna come up on here, I'm gonna shade you, I'm gonna throw shade, I'm gonna put my hands up in your face a little bit, and it's all entertainment, right? I can do and say whatever I want, but you can't react to me. And then for some people, they get on reality TV and they think what they're gonna do is live their lives. And the reality TV show cameras are just gonna follow their lives and their real reactions. So then you have the instigator and then you have the person who reacts. And we always talk about this. Now, in that situation, Candace was an instigator. In that situation, Monique reacted, okay? And that's what you have, bottom line. So then Jemele says this: clearly grown women fighting is a terrible look, but it is blame on both sides. Candace is always telling people she's about that action, and then you get that action you asked for. So part of me thinks the real emotional trauma is losing the fight. Hashtag Real Housewives of Potomac. Whew. Now, I ain't gonna really get into no more commentary about the situation because, you know, I still have flashbacks of last year. It was such a rough time, y'all. Such a rough time for us. We got a super chat in the building from Complex Ken who says, Jemele told not one lie, Candace is bothered. I'm gonna tell you what I would do if I was Candace. That's all I'm gonna say. I wouldn't respond to any of this because, you know, everybody is allowed to have their opinion, and the fight was last season. So for me, what I would do is, because everybody's going to have an opinion about something, that doesn't mean that you need to respond to everybody's opinion. Now, for a lot of people, everybody, you know, some of those people agree with Candace and some people will not. And some people will agree with Jemele. In my mind, if I'm Candace, I'm beyond the fight. So I'm not even going to walk backwards. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to walk backwards. I'm going to keep it pushing forward because I got, you know, school that I'm dealing with. I'm happily married. I have a whole music career that's blossoming. So I'm not going to look backwards. And you cannot respond to every single thing that somebody says about you, right? That's how I feel about it. We got another one from Leandra who says, in the great words of Tammy Roman, keep your hands out my face, words to live by. Tammy did tell us that. So when Candace responds and then she says this, message you on IG since you're too chicken-ish to have your Twitter DMs on at Jemele Hill. I just feel like it's sending the wrong message because honestly, you know, I would just steer away from those types of confrontations. Now, I will say Candace is a good reader. You know, Candace can read in her confessionals. Candace can read you down, okay? But in terms of these types of battle of the words, I personally just would not do it. That's just me. That's me. And I would leave it at that. I would leave it at that. Because ultimately what's happening here is, and let me get back on the screen real quick. And I want to say this. You know, there's a reason why Giselle does not go back and forth with people on Twitter. Because Giselle understands that this is a game. And this is a game for her. Unfortunately, at times, it is a game that hurts other people. But for real, Giselle understands where the money resides. Okay? And let me tell you where the money resides. The money resides where your check is. Okay? And so if you stay where your check is at, then you can't go wrong. For real. Because either the network is going to provide for you or protect you in some way, shape, or form. The money ain't in the Twitter beefs. It's not. It's not in the Twitter beefs. That's why you barely ever see Giselle commenting back on anything that anybody writes about her. Okay? So my advice for Candace, and whether she wants to take it or not, and quiet as it's kept, people think that I dislike her, and I don't. I don't always like the things that she says or does, but that's different. We can dislike somebody's behavior and their actions and not have a dislike of them, you know, because I hate no one. But what I will say is this, Candace, stay where the money resides. And it definitely ain't in the Twitter beefs, okay? I would just back up from that because it don't really look good for your cause considering where we came from last season. Okay, that's it. Bottom line, the Hicks World says the fight was just as bad as Sha'Carri Richardson losing and dead last after challenging all of her competitors. Pure embarrassment. Ooh. Ooh. Mm. Well, thank you for that super chat. Okay. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. So, and listen, DJ says truthfully, she would meet her match with Jemele. She's a wordsmith too. Well, I mean, you know, it is, you know, we'll have to see where it goes. But that's that. Okay. I want to move into the Real Housewives of Potomac season 6 mid-season trailer, because in that trailer, we get to a couple of things, and I want to let me open my notes because I wanted to do this yesterday, but you know, obviously things came up, things needed to be done. So I want to pull up my notes real quick so we can discuss it. One of the things that we need to discuss is, first things first, Juan tells Robyn that he's done in that mid-season trailer. Okay. You right. That trailer was fire. It was fire. Actually, let's do a little fun game. Let's rate the trailer on a scale of 1 to 10 because I'm interested in seeing what you think. Brittany Wright says, while y'all doing that, Brittany says, even Andy Cohen noticed she's a mess on Twitter last reunion. Yeah, he did happen to say that. You fine. You know, we let me tell you about this community here. We know a lot. When we talking, we are having fun. That is how everything that is to be taken on this channel. And so we keep it lighthearted, we keep it fun, and we talk the real. We talk the real. And so I see we got some 10s. Okay, a 10, 10, 10, 10s across the board, 20, 20. Okay. Yes. Okay, 200. Yes, 9, 10. We finally got to see Mia throw that lettuce at Candace. 11, 10. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You know, one of the biggest situations that we had in the whole trailer was Karen getting married. We have Karen getting married, and you know, we all knew that that was happening. We've seen the photos from that. And so I'm trying to download a photo for y'all so I can put it into the screen. We saw that Karen was getting married, so we knew that was happening. All the ladies are in attendance, whether they wanted to be there or not. Okay. On the other end of the fence, we ain't seen hide nor hair of this whole situation with Robyn. Okay. And I don't know if we're going to or not, because from the looks of it, Juan ain't too happy with her. Okay. So in this trailer, what we have here is Robyn saying we have to make sure the things that happened before don't happen again. And he says that was 20 years ago. I don't want to do this, as he begins to walk out of the scene. He said, and she says, are you serious right now? So I don't know what it is that they're talking about that happened 20 years ago. I don't know if it was that, you know, she's referring to the cheating that happened with, I don't know, from what we've gathered before, it was maybe both of them. I'm not sure. But it remains to be seen what she's talking about, but they definitely don't look any closer to walking down the aisle. And he basically walks out on her, and he gets in his car and he drives on off from what looks to be like a warehouse, maybe where her hats are housed. You know, the ones that's going to be on QVC, TJ Maxx, and the Macy's. Okay. So we have yet to be seen, you know, we yet to see what's going to happen with that situation. Giselle Bryant is talking about how she does not want to get married ever again. Okay. The therapist basically tells her that, you know, she's got some work to do, essentially. Ashley Darby admits in the trailer that she hasn't slept with Michael Darby in the same bed for like 3 weeks. We don't know what's going on there. CC Mama says, you know how the producers edit. Juan probably said he was done packing hats. CC Mama, I'ma hurt you. Right, I can finally get my hat. Well, hopefully he want all the help she had, because otherwise, if he done left, then my orders probably never gonna come in. Okay. Side note, somebody dropped that website down in the description link so I can find a hat, because I need to. I'm gonna try to open it up while we online and get the hat. Okay. What else we got? Chris Bassett is under fire because he ends up telling Candace, "I've never asked you for a penny." But then what looks like it's on the set of Candace's video is Robyn asking Candace's mom if she thinks that Chris is getting comfortable. And the mama says, heck yeah, he is. Okay. Now, the mama seems to be doing a lot in the video, so much so that Giselle even comments that Miss Dorothy is doing a lot. So I'm glad we're going to get to see more of Miss Dorothy, because I like Miss Dorothy. Miss Dorothy is pure TV gold, okay? And I would like to see her more on the show. Stacy says they moved into their home. They're good, but Richie, what is going on with Mia's husband in this trailer? Cringe, okay? We're going to get there. Trust and believe. We're going to get there. So then we get another scene where Chris Bassett and Michael Darby seem to get into it. So remember yesterday we talked about how I said that Candace said that Michael was a creep and how he doubles down. Well, apparently she was maybe referring to this moment right here, where Michael is demanding an apology from Chris Bassett for putting your hands on me. You put your hands on me. You should apologize. So then they get into it. Candace gets up and says, this is the whitest privilege. I have to go. And then Chris and Michael begin to sort of rehash their whole past brawl or whatever. Then we have Candace and Mia getting into it. Now, this situation right here, it tickles me to death every time I sees it, okay? Watch this scene right here, and it's only a little clip, and I'm sure I can show it because it's just a little clip. It ain't that long.
Where is your pimp? Where you at? The hoe is here.
It's that pimp where you at, the hoe is here for me, okay? It's the pimp where you at, the hoe is here. I crack up every time I watch, and I actually have watched the trailer probably about 20 times just for that clip alone. And then I saw it on Mia's page, okay? And she had posted just that little bit, and I said, ooh, thank God I could use it in the video. And she says this, Lord have mercy, wasting that good salad on that crouton, okay? Talking about Candace. Listen, did Candace say, where is your pimp? Speaking of Candace and Mia, and then Mia's husband, okay, he's showcasing a little humor, okay? He's basically telling that the housewives and the husbands, they can solve all their problems by going to the butt naked club. Most likely, is that a strip club or is that another type of club that we're talking about here? I don't know. Somebody let me know in the chatterization. And then we get another little beef between Candace and Ashley, you know, with them sticking their middle fingers up at each other. We get a continued beef between Robyn and Wendy. That seems like it's going to go on for the rest of the season, because, you know, Robyn ain't got no real beef with Wendy. She just got, as Candace called it in the preview for next week's episode, an associated beef via Giselle. And I just keep thinking to myself, what did Robyn see? This is what happens. This is why you got to learn to mind your business sometimes. If you see two people arguing and you know your friend is dead wrong for what she did, What you probably should do is, and you see your best friend getting read and dragged for filth, what you should probably do is sit back, swallow some whiskey, and pretend to be drunk. That's what I would do. Okay. Well, maybe not. I don't. If a bunch of people was coming at my friend, that's one thing. Then I'm gonna step in. But I feel like if you know that this girl is dragging your friend for something that your friend did that was wrong, you might want to go ahead and sit back, because that's a train that's not going to stop at just her. Okay. She going to make a stop to your destination next. And so now that you done jumped into an argument that ain't had nothing to do with you, you find yourself in the midst of a dragon, and now you're mad. Talking about you ain't gonna invite the girl to your wedding. What wedding are we talking about? What wedding? Where is the wedding? Where is the wedding planner? Where is it? Okay. And here's the thing. I don't even dislike Robyn. Robyn, to me, has one of the most relatable storylines. It's just that, again, what we hate to see is her jumping on the back of Gizelle's boogie board. I don't like it. It's just like you could, and I saw a little clip of an interview that she did with the Jasmine brand, and she was talking about, if you don't go hard for your friends, what kind of friend are you? That's true, except if you know your friend is dead wrong, and girl, you do. Because what you're trying to do right now is disassociate yourself from the rumor, because now you're claiming on, like you did online, like we saw it on the Neighborhood Talk, you claiming that you never had a conversation about Wendy and Eddie. So now you're trying to disassociate yourself from the rumor conversation. I mean, you could have avoided all of this by simply just saying, listen, I'm going to sit back and shut up today. I done all the work I came to do. I had a conversation with her at lunch, and I my work obligation is done for the day. I'm drunk. Okay. That's it. Yes. Robyn used to be my fave. She needs to realize her own worth. Gizelle should tell her that. Okay. Right. That's what. Check your friend in private. Check her. That could have made a little nice extra scene. You pulling Gizelle to the side. Girl, why you do that? Why you been talking about her man like that? You know? Now, Suri Reva says Wendy did an interview yesterday and said Robyn told her first. Now, Suri, I got to go find that. We got to go find that, because I need that link. I need to send it to y'all, okay? So we can have that information too. Send us that link, Suri. We're looking for it. The Hicks World says, why are all the friends of the shows now enemies? Portia and Fallon, Jizzy and the Grand Dame, Ash and Candy, Ascala and Robyn are next. Well, speaking of Ascala and Robyn, glad you brought that up. Because in the preview, as I told y'all, Ascala gets her own confessional, right? And she's basically wondering, like, how could Robyn defend Gizelle for amplifying and perpetuating the rumor about Wendy's husband if they're supposed to be friends? But then Ascala reasons that, well, Gizelle and Robyn must be really good friends, because you are supposed to ride for your friend. But she also asked the question, how is it that you are supporting someone who could do this to Wendy? Oh, well, let's check it out. Let's check it out real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm about to get some tea up in this piece. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me just head on over to the site so I can see it first, so I can preview it. Oh, it's an interview from the, it looks like from the Jasmine brand. So that's going to have to come in a separate video, because what I like to do is keep people's interviews that they do on their pages, and I don't want to really kind of break that up. I will give you guys a recap, but I'm going to give it to you now. I'm going to give you guys the link so you can check it out. and then we're going to discuss it probably in tomorrow's video. Let me give you that, because you know what? Here's the thing. I don't consider myself a news site per se, as much as I do consider myself commentary on reality TV shows. And so I don't mind giving y'all news and telling y'all where to go. So it's there. And let me head on over to the Jasmine brand because they say it's there too. Now, I don't see it on the Jasmine brand, but I know the interview came from the Jasmine brand. So you know what, the Jasmine brand, they like to put up their clips and feed us and give us that drip feed type information. And I like that. I like that. So we'll be getting more into that tomorrow. But we had to come on here and discuss the Potomac trailer. I want to say thank you. And thank you, Sandra Johnson, for letting us know where the tea is. I'll put the link in the description. I'm going to put it in there one more time so y'all can go check that out. Because again, I like to have y'all have the information. It's on the Bravo Shade Room, but it also comes from the Jasmine brand. Okay. So those are the sources for that. Thank you so much, guys. Somebody said the wedding is February 31st. Get out of here. So back to Escala. Yes, back to Escala. So Escala was asking the question. So, you know, I mean, I'm here for Escala. I'm here for Escala, right? Tracy Quinn, the tea is spilling everywhere. You can get it from every faucet you can find, okay? With that being said, y'all, thank y'all for joining me in on this discussion. Y'all know how I like these conversations. With that being said, y'all know that I love y'all, right? And if you have not told somebody that you love them today, go ahead and tell them. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm about to go spend the rest of my afternoon with Bae because it's Bae's birthday, right? So we got to go, and I'm hopefully going to do some lunch and, you know, maybe a little shopperization or whatever. But in the meantime, y'all, be good to each other. Go and get the tea from the sources that I gave y'all now. And then we're going to come back over here tomorrow and we're going to have a discussion about it. All right. Now, I will catch you guys in the very next video.